Lost in Space is one of my favorite series, and I'm here to talk to you about the first 4 episodes of the third and final season. Oh, this is bittersweet, but nonetheless, we got a review to do. So, folks, let's jump into it because I'm very excited, and let's jump into things right now. What's going on, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing this series Lost in Space, the third and final season here, the first 4 episodes of this season, which is going to be premiering on Netflix December 1st. Is this one of those type of things where it's just like, well, thank God at least they got 3 seasons, because there's been other series on Netflix that didn't make it this long. But this is one of my favorites, and it's always bittersweet when one of your favorite series comes to an end. And this is a series that I've liked since day one. I love a good space exploration sci-fi with good character development. This one's very family friendly. Obviously, it has source material from the original series. This is just a lot of reasons why. And beyond that, the structure of the show, the cinematography, the score, the visuals is just fantastic. For it to be that good just on Netflix, it's just kind of mind-blowing. Like I always say, like, this show feels like it has big box office budget production, and so every time when you watch an episode, you just are wowed at the things that you're seeing. And this season already thus far has some amazing visuals, like really do. So I could be amazed by watching this without actually hearing anything. Just visually stunning. But beyond that, the acting, these characters have been some of my favorite characters growing up. The Robinson family. And so many different people in this cast that I'm very fond of. There's a new casting this season that I was like, it's one of my favorite guys. I didn't know he was going to be in this final season. But I'll talk about it in a second. But when you think about everybody's involved with this, Molly Parker, Taylor Russell is one of my favorites, Maxwell Jenkins, who plays Will Robinson, which I gotta talk about right now, because the biggest question for me was like, how are we going to explain this guy Maxwell just becoming a giant? We seen this little boy grow up not only on the show but in real life. I got to meet him, I think, right before the pandemic, and he was as tall as me. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. But then I was like, wait a minute. That means he's going to be tall in the show, and he's not just a baby anymore. But they did, obviously explain the time lapse within the show, because as the conclusion of last season, or sort of like the conclusion of last season, but also kind of reiterating the beginning of this, that they crashed on an alien planet and such. Then they've just been trying to repair their tech, their spaceship, in order to get back back into space. The other issue is that they're on the clock is because there's been an asteroid that collided, and because of asteroids hitting one another and basically creating a grid, it's making it virtually impossible for the computer to really autopilot themselves out of it, because there's really no safe measures in doing so. So they're on the clock to repair things. So that's where the kids are at. And then you still have the adults that are on the Jupiter, which they're basically haven't communicated with one another, so no one knows the safety of one another. So that's where it is. You got everyone trying to survive, but you got folks also trying to, in the concern of their kids or their parents. And then there's other people that are found, other crew members that are found, because obviously everyone's trying to get to their new planet, Alpha Centauri, and that's the goal here. Everyone's trying to get there. Besides SAR, who is trying to prevent anybody from getting there. So he's after everybody, particularly Will, SAR the robot. And then you have Robot, obviously, trying to protect Will, but also trying to trust him. It's still a learning curve of that going on there. So everyone is doing different things now. Let me kind of go down each character really quick. Now, Judy has stepped into a captain role. She is truly in charge of everything that is happening with the kids on this planet. She is the leader there. Penny's in love. I think that's all I got. Will is your engineer, so he is definitely out to repair things, and there's some more to that as well too, but he's mostly in charge of getting this spaceship back into space. And Robot has to protect him because SAR and the robots are after him, And at the same time, they're on an alien planet that they have no clue about. And so there's a little bit of like discovering going on as well too, that robot tends to kind of go out on his own and finds out. Who else do we got there? And then the parents obviously are just trying to do whatever they can in order to make contact with the kids, but at the same time they have their own sense of danger and stuff going on as well too. Dr. Smith, what can we say? Still shady, still very shady. She's a shady stowaway because she's with the kids, which she shouldn't be with the kids because she didn't meet the criteria because she's not a kid. So that's that. But you know, the biggest thing beyond this too is that we're getting a lot of really good backstory. Like Maureen, we learned so much about her. Judy, I seen Judy in charge has been some of my favorite scenes of this season. She has so much confidence, not only just being a good sibling, but just being a leader to all the kids, and also keeping Dr. Smith, Parker Posey, in check, because you know she's always the one to kind of cause mischief. She's like Loki in a sense, like she's just always trying to cause some type of mischief or doubt, or obviously after robot, because we know how she is and whatnot. But when you talk about the big casting here, Russell Hornsby's in this. That's all I can say. But he's one of my favorite actors, and seeing him in this, it's kind of funny in the sense, considering what I just watched him in. But his presence on this show is changing. It's game changing. There's no more I can say about that, but it's game changing here. But the other big thing is that, you know, this series for the first 4 episodes, it's just been fun. Again, the production has been amazing. The adventures, being on the edge of your seat, every episode has some type of major thing that obstacle that they had to overcome. And seeing whether it's the kids, whether it's the adults go through it, it's just intense. You're at the edge of your seat and you just can't wait to see what's going to happen, because there's so many different things that are happening. And like, while they all have their own self-conflicts and whatnot, you still got Sar, this robot, and his group of robots that's out to do whatever they got to do. And there's no way they're going to be able to go, you know, one-on-one with them. There's only one robot that can possibly take 2 at max of a whole army of them. And yeah, you know, there's Scarecrow obviously involved here. There's some actually really cool things that happen with Scarecrow and Robot, and I can't wait for you all to see it. And the visuals around those things are really interesting as well too. So, and then I gotta say, for only watching the first 4 episodes, like, I feel like Netflix really did me up on this one, because the cliffhanger on the 4th episode is not fair. It's really not fair. So I can't wait to check out the rest of the season. It is 8 episodes. They're all about 45 minutes, so I still got an extra half of the season to see myself. But yeah, this is all about the journey to everyone getting the Alpha Centauri, and you know, it's about the Robinsons and everybody, the adults and the kids, everybody trying to reunite. They're trying to get off this alien planet. They're trying to escape SAR's after them, not only for Will Robinson, but he needs the engine that they have as well too. So like, there's a bunch of different things going on here, and things are going to get crazy. So I can't wait for you folks to see it. I really can. If you've been watching this series thus far, you already know what to expect. You're going to you're going to be highly anticipating this, but also you're going to be like myself, like, I don't want to see this end, because I really don't. But it's been fun thus far, and I can't wait to check out the rest. And I can't wait for you all to see this as well. So jump in the comments. Let me know your fandom of Lost in Space, your sadness of it being the last season. And freaking Will Robinson is just a giant now. Maxwell has grown up. And I gotta give more love to Taylor. She really bosses this season. I mean, that's not to say that no one else does, because everyone brings what you expect them to bring. You know, Don having that comedic tone when it's not a lot of him, but when he gets his moment, he does. John and Maureen being parents, and that sometimes disagreement in being parents and whatnot, but still bringing a really emotional toe to things. And then the backstory to Maureen, and then when you learn about that backstory, and then when the kids learn about the backstory, oh, it's something. It's, you know, she's a mother, so you know, you're gonna see some really and hear some really interesting things about her. So, but yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Time to get out of here. Time for you all to check it out, and I see you around for the conclusion of this series very soon.